Imagine waking up tomorrow and your money is worthless. Not declining in value, completely worthless. The grocery stores are empty, the ATMs are dark, and that number in your bank account means absolutely nothing. This isn't science fiction. It happened in Germany in 1923, in Venezuela recently, and it could happen again. The question isn't if you'll survive, it's what will you trade to stay alive. In this video, you're going to discover exactly what becomes valuable when the dollar dies. We'll break down the real goods that matter, the skills that become priceless, and the tactical strategies you need to dominate a barter economy. By the end, you'll know exactly what to stockpile now and how to trade it later. Knowledge that could mean the difference between thriving and just surviving when the system collapses. Welcome to Prep Pantry, where we turn everyday people into prepared survivors. If you're serious about protecting your family and building real security, hit that like button and subscribe, because the content we share here could save your life when traditional currency fails. Now, let's dive in. When the system collapses and fiat currency loses all meaning, the entire concept of value shifts overnight. What matters isn't how much money you have in the bank, it's what you can physically hold, use, and trade. In a true barter economy, survival utility becomes the only currency that counts. Let's start with the absolute foundation of survival: food and water. When the trucks stop rolling and shelves go empty, non-perishable, high-calorie staples immediately skyrocket in value. We're talking about canned goods, rice, beans, jerky, and military-grade meals ready to eat. These aren't just food items, they're concentrated survival in a package. A few gallons of clean, potable water or a bucket of rice could secure you anything you need in a desperate world. And don't overlook water filtration gear. When municipal systems fail and bottled water runs out, the ability to turn dirty water into safe drinking water becomes absolutely priceless. Now, think about medical supplies. In a world where hospitals close their doors and pharmacies are looted bare, having antibiotics, antiseptics, painkillers, blood pressure medications, or insulin means you're holding life itself in your hands. These items can mean the difference between someone living or dying. Even basic first aid supplies like gauze, bandages, or a simple aspirin can trade at premium prices, especially when someone's child is sick and there's nowhere to turn. Parents will trade almost anything to save their kids. Energy and fuel become the next tier of critical value. Gasoline, diesel, propane, kerosene, firewood, any power source becomes precious because it literally powers survival. Fuel runs generators that keep food cold, vehicles that enable escape or scavenging, and cook stoves that turn raw ingredients into meals. Even the smallest items like matches, candles, and lighters turn into trade gold. They provide light when darkness falls and heat when winter comes, both of which are fundamental human needs. Batteries, especially common sizes like AA, AAA, D cells, and rechargeable packs, keep flashlights working, radios communicating, and medical devices running. In complete darkness, even a single fresh battery can be worth its weight in silver. Security becomes non-negotiable in any collapse scenario. Ammunition, particularly in common calibers, becomes one of the most sought-after barter items you can possibly have. Bullets serve multiple purposes: defense against threats, hunting for food, signaling for help, and simple deterrence. Unlike tools that last for years, ammunition gets used up, making it a consumable currency with constant ongoing demand. Firearms themselves, along with cleaning kits and spare parts, also hold significant barter value. But it's the ammo that really drives trade, because everyone needs it and it's always running out. Tools for building and repairing become essential infrastructure in human form. We're talking about durable, low-tech items: axes, hammers, saws, nails, knives, rope, duct tape, glue, screws. These items allow people to fix what's broken, build what's needed, and defend what's theirs. A basic box of screws or a single quality shovel becomes infrastructure itself. When Home Depot is a burned-out shell and Amazon trucks stopped running months ago, tools that actually work hold serious barter value, especially when most people didn't think to store them. Hygiene and sanitation might not seem as exciting as guns and food, but they prevent something deadly: disease. When there's no trash pickup, no working toilets, and no clean running water, disease spreads like wildfire. Soap, bleach, disinfectants, and toilet paper suddenly become highly sought-after trade goods. Personal hygiene items like toothpaste, razors, shampoo, and feminine hygiene products turn into valuable currency. Diapers and baby wipes become survival tools, especially when there's no water available for washing cloth diapers. These items keep communities functional and healthy. But survival isn't just about staying alive, it's about staying human. People under extreme stress crave familiarity and comfort. This is where items like cigarettes, alcohol, coffee, tea, sugar, and spices consistently show up as black market gold throughout history. Addictions don't disappear and collapse, they intensify. Someone going through nicotine withdrawal or desperate for a drink will trade things others won't. Comfort items can unlock trade deals that would otherwise be impossible. Even simple things like chocolate, candy, or a small bag of salt can brighten someone's day in a great world and become surprisingly valuable trade goods. Now, let's talk about precious metals for a moment. Gold and silver have historically held value when paper money fails. Silver coins, gold bullion, and old jewelry may very well return as accepted currency once trade patterns stabilize and communities rebuild. However, here's the critical truth. In the early, desperate stages of collapse, precious metals won't buy you much when people are hungry, cold, or bleeding out. You can't eat gold. You can't defend yourself with silver. Think of precious metals as a backup store of value, something useful later in the recovery phase, but not when immediate survival is at stake. The underlying principle here is simple. In a barter economy, anything that keeps people alive, warm, safe, or sane has value. Boots and heavy jackets become currency in cold climates. In Venezuela's collapse, people even traded art made from worthless banknotes. Portioning matters significantly. Travel-sized toiletries, mini liquor bottles, single-serving rations. Smaller pieces offer bigger flexibility in trade because not everyone can afford to trade for bulk quantities. But here's something most people completely overlook. In a world where shelves are empty and savings mean nothing, it's not what you own that keeps you alive. It's what you can do. Skills become currency. Unlike a can of beans that eventually gets eaten, your ability to help others doesn't run out. You can trade it again and again. And as collapse stretches from weeks into months and years, the most valuable people in any community are those with capable hands and useful knowledge. Medical skills sit at the top of this hierarchy. Field medics, nurses, midwives, and those with knowledge of herbal remedies or trauma response become absolutely irreplaceable. If you can set a broken bone, treat an infection, deliver a baby, or stop someone from bleeding out, you'll never lack food or shelter. Communities protect their medical providers fiercely because losing them could mean death for everyone. Even simpler abilities like properly stitching a wound or pulling a bad tooth can earn you protection, firewood, or clean water. People remember who saved their lives or their children's lives. Security and defense knowledge becomes another form of high-value currency. Military background, law enforcement experience, or tactical training turns into immediate barter fuel. Guard duty for a community, convoy escort for traders, perimeter defense for settlements, and training others in firearms and tactics all have real, tangible trade value. In a world where law and order have broken down, safety becomes a service that people will pay almost anything for. If you can keep people safe, you eat well. Repair and maintenance skills become critical as everything starts breaking down. Mechanics, engineers, and tinkerers who can fix cars, rebuild generators, or rig solar panels from salvage parts become essential community members. After collapse, there is no customer service number to call, no tech support to contact. You are the tech support. Those who can repair radios, restore lighting systems, fix ham radio equipment, and maintain weapons will find themselves constantly trading repairs for food, fuel, or firewood. Every working device, every functional tool depends on people who know how to fix things. Builders and craftsmen create the physical infrastructure of survival. Carpenters, masons, welders, and metalworkers who can shore up a leaking roof, reinforce a defensive wall, or build a secure shelter are vital. Throughout history, in war zones and collapsed states, those who could repair structures or build new ones from salvage secured shelter for themselves and bartered well for their services. Even primitive skills like building a smokehouse for preserving meat or constructing a water catchment system from scraps become gold mines in the right hands. Growing food and gathering resources represents another tier of essential skills. Those who know how to grow a garden in poor soil, raise chickens on scraps, or forage for edible plants in the wild don't go hungry. Teaching food preservation techniques, canning, curing meat, fermenting vegetables gives people winter insurance, the ability to store calories for when nothing grows. Community cooks who can stretch simple staples into hearty, morale-boosting meals bring comfort and cohesion to struggling groups. Water purification and sanitation knowledge can literally save lives and prevent epidemics. Knowing how to find, filter, and purify water using methods like bleaching, boiling, solar disinfection, or layered charcoal filters becomes a life-saving skill. Running a clean water station or teaching others how to build their own filters earns goodwill and consistent trade. Building safe latrines and organizing hygiene infrastructure makes you the frontline defense against the diseases that kill more people than violence in most collapses. Childbirth and child care skills become vital when medical clinics close and hospitals go dark. Midwives, doulas, and those with birth experience step into a critical role. Helping to safely deliver a child in a collapsed world can buy you food, safety, and shelter for months. People don't forget who brought their children safely into the world. Teaching and childcare also matter significantly. Keeping kids safe, occupied, and learning preserves hope and builds the future. Parents will trade valuable resources to ensure their children are cared for and educated. Then there are specialized niche skills that create unique value. Ham radio operation connects isolated communities and provides vital information. Tech repair brings dead electronics back to life. Veterinary knowledge keeps livestock healthy and productive. Blacksmithing creates and repairs metal tools. Sewing and cobbling keep people clothed and showed. Fuel production from biodiesel or ethanol provides energy independence. Even language skills become valuable when trading with diverse groups or translating important information. Teaching itself becomes a form of currency. When you teach someone how to purify water, preserve food, or fix basic tools, you're not just helping them survive, you're creating goodwill, building trust, and establishing yourself as a valuable community resource. Leadership, organization, and diplomacy skills help build the social structures that keep communities together when everything else is falling apart. The beautiful thing about skills is their renewable currency. A surgeon who performs an operation gets paid once for that surgery. But in a barter economy, that surgeon can perform hundreds of operations, each one earning food, shelter, or protection. Your skills are a well that never runs dry. Understanding how to actually trade in a barter economy is just as important as what you have to trade. Bartering is raw, human, and negotiated face-to-face. There are no price tags, no refunds, and often no second chances. The psychology behind each trade matters as much as the goods on the table. First, understand scarcity and supply. If something is rare, it becomes valuable, but that value can shift overnight. In barter economies throughout history, value swings happen fast and hard. One rumor about incoming supplies or a discovered cache can crash the worth of an item in hours. You need to stay alert and watch the flow of goods. What's precious today might be common tomorrow, and what nobody wants now might be priceless next week. Utility and need drive every deal. What's truly useful always holds baseline value, but personal need is what drives the actual exchange rate. A hungry person will pay far more for rice than someone with a full pantry. Someone down to their last few bullets will see your ammunition as treasure. Here's the critical lesson: never show desperation. Concealing your true need is leverage. Revealing it can cost you everything. The trader who appears calm and well supplied gets better deals than the one who looks desperate. Perception and reputation become reality in barter economies. Without formal prices or standardized currency, what people believe something is worth becomes what it's actually worth. Your reputation matters enormously. Being known as fair, reliable, and honest brings trust and repeat trade opportunities. Barter economies run on stories and word of mouth. If people tell stories about how you ripped someone off, your trading opportunities dry up. If they tell stories about your fairness and quality goods, opportunities flow to you. Now, let's get tactical with 10 specific rules for successful bartering. Rule 1. Never look desperate, ever. Even if you're down to your last meal, project calm confidence. Desperation invites exploitation and drives prices against you. Confidence invites negotiation and respect. Control your body language, your tone, and your words. Act like you have options, even when you don't. Rule 2. Start small. Never put all your goods on the table at once. Bring only what you're actually willing to trade in that specific session. Stagger your offers to maintain flexibility and protect your safety. If you show up with a truck full of supplies, you're painting a target on yourself. Show just enough to make the deal, nothing more. Rule 3. Guard information about your stockpiles like your life depends on it, because it does. Loose lips make you a target for theft or worse. Always play it like you're low on supplies, even if you're well stocked back home. Operational security is survival. The person who brags about their full pantry gets robbed. The person who seems barely scraping by gets left alone. Rule 4. Choose neutral, safe trading grounds. Never trade from your home base or primary shelter. You're giving away your location and showing your defenses. Never walk solo into someone else's controlled territory. You're vulnerable to ambush or robbery. Use public spaces. Bring a trusted partner for backup and trade in daylight when possible. Good visibility and witnesses provide natural security. Rule 5. Be armed and stay cautious. Always be prepared to defend yourself. Barter setups can go bad fast, especially in desperate times. Bring backup, stay friendly and professional, but remain alert. Position yourself with escape routes in mind. Watch body language and listen to your instincts. Most trades go fine, but the one that doesn't could be your last. Rule 6. Negotiate with fairness and aim for win-win outcomes. Haggling is absolutely normal and expected in barter cultures, but reputation matters more than any single deal. Aim for exchanges where both sides walk away feeling content. Fair traders build long-term relationships and ongoing trade networks. Sharks who exploit every advantage make enemies and eventually get cut off, or worse. Observe and learn the barter market constantly. Value shifts consistently in these environments. Stay alert to what's currently hot and what's cooling off. Learn what different groups value most. Rural farmers might desperately need tools and seeds. Urban survivors might prioritize security and medicine. Tailor your approach and your trade goods to the specific group you're dealing with.
Core survival items should be your last resort trades, not your first. Rule 10. Use barter networks or group trades when available. Trading within an organized group offers safety through numbers, broader selection of goods, and established trust. Join barter clubs or informal markets if they develop in your area. These networks provide price discovery, community support, and collective security. Relationship building is absolutely key. The trader who knows everyone and has a reputation for fairness thrives. The lone wolf trader struggles. Now let's talk about preparing to dominate the barter economy before collapse even happens. Stockpile smart. Don't just stockpile what you'll personally need, stockpile what others will desperately want. Cigarettes for non-smokers might seem pointless, but to a smoker in withdrawal, they're gold. Fuel tablets, extra batteries, bars of soap, disposable lighters, ibuprofen bottles. These items are cheap right now, but will become precious later. Buy in bulk at today's prices and break them down into tradable portions. Small packages create more trading opportunities than large ones. Build skills strategically. Start learning survival skills right now while resources are still available. Take a wilderness first aid course. Learn basic mechanical repair. Study food preservation techniques. Learn to sew or reload ammunition. Every skill you master now becomes a product in your future barter catalog. You're building a portfolio of capabilities that can't be stolen, can't spoil, and never run out. Build your network before crisis hits. Don't prep alone in isolation. Build a circle of trust with like-minded people before the collapse. A few good people with complementary skills and shared supplies form a resilient microeconomy. Know who within your community has valuable resources, water wells, greenhouses, generators, workshops. Build relationships based on mutual benefit and trust. When things fall apart, these connections become lifelines. Finally, develop the right mindset. Collapse will test everyone. Some people panic, others pray and hope. But the prepared see opportunity, not to exploit others, but to create value in chaos. Position yourself as a cornerstone of stability and sanity in a chaotic world. Be the person others trust, the person who has solutions, the person who helps communities survive and rebuild. That reputation becomes your greatest asset. When the system fails and the dollar dies, survival isn't about who has the most money. It's about who holds real value. The goods you stockpile, the skills you master, and the mindset you build today become your wealth tomorrow. You don't have to wait for collapse to start preparing for that world. Start now. Become the person others will look to when everything else falls apart. Barter isn't just trading, it's rebuilding, it's leadership, and it's maintaining control in a world that's lost it. Stop smart, train hard, and build your circle of trust. The future belongs to the prepared. If this video opened your eyes to what really matters when collapse comes, smash that like button and subscribe to Prep Pantry. Drop a comment below and tell us what's the first thing you're stockpiling for barter. Stay sharp, stay ready, and remember, in the new economy, survival is your currency. See you in the next one.